and his horse improved with their first few starts, and this one looks to be no different. And I think that Hamish Macbeth ran very well in Ireland yesterday, so in the sales race of Hugo Palmer, so it's relatively solid form, and I think just from watching that race at Salisbury, there's reason to believe that he'll improve again. So I can understand why he's favourite. I mean, he's quite short price. I think it's there's a few potential improvers in the race for sure, but it's I can see why people are jumping on the bandwagon, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Martin, as George highlighted, the Hamish Macbeth form obviously got a big boost yesterday with that run behind Stone Circle in Ireland. So just how strong is his chance?
Yeah, well, his form is solid, isn't it? He finished behind Hamish Macbeth, and Cosmic Power, the runner-up, has won since as well. There was another subsequent winner in behind that day as well. I don't think he's a natural 6 furlong horse. I think his best trip will end up being 7, maybe even a mile later on. Mm-hmm. So for me, at a very short price, I think that could leave him vulnerable. Now, they have found probably a race that lacks a little bit of depth. I think the horse in shot there, Spirit of the North, if he gets back to his debut form at Pontefract, he might just have a little bit more speed than the favourite. What
do you think about the way he's going to post at the moment, George?
I'd be thinking hopefully there's a gap so he can get through the stalls there, because he's just not given Josephine very much help. Luckily, the stalls are right across the track there at the 6 furlong start, and he's seen them and pulled himself up, but he was a little bit out of control there. Got a bit of a run on with her. I don't think he was going flat out, but they'll obviously check him over and make sure everything's all right.
He's having his third start. He showed lots of promise first time. Arguably the ground might have been against him on his second start. Just before we talk about what's going on here, just in terms of his chance.
Well, I think his form is as good as the favourites. Now, he's got a different profile in that Progressive Rating went forward from his debut to his second run, and Spirit of the North went backwards from his debut to his second run. But as you've touched on, that was pretty testing ground at Nottingham. It was also just less than 2 weeks after his debut as well, which might have been too soon. I like the fact they've given him a 46-day break, and if we actually look at that debut form, he finished in behind Tom Frey of Rafe Beckett's, that's gone on to improve and win again since. Pop Dancer, the runner-up, has also won since, and not only won, but won twice, and pretty impressively a couple of times. And the 4th horse, Sword Beach, has shown plenty of improvement as well. So I think if he gets back to that level of form, then he's got as good a chance as the favourite. But clearly we saw him going to Purston. He looks quite headstrong, doesn't he?
Well, he's drifted in the market. Progressive Ratings 4 to 5 on the exchanges, and he's nearly 4 to 1. Spirit of the North. George, of the 2 horses, these 2 are at the top of the market, and there's quite a bit of disparity between those 2 and the rest in the market. Would you prefer to be with Progressive Rating over Spirit of the North now that we've seen the antics, etc.?
I think at the price, I'd go with Spirit of the North. I thought you can forgive that run at Nottingham. I think it was probably very loose ground that day, and as Martin was saying, the form of the Pontefract race in July is strong, and he looks a big, strong type. You can see that. I think he probably wants. Not that I know the horse that well, but he just looks like he's going to be. He's going to be a 3-year-old more so. That he's a big boy, and that may have come too quickly as well at Nottingham. So I think on that Pontefract form, I'd be siding with him. I think
it'll be interesting, won't it? I think the race will develop. Watching him go into Purston, in particular, Spirit of the North, and he has shown speed, particularly at Pontefract. He looks like he's just going to go, tearing away, probably leading the field. And it'll just be interesting to see whether Progressive Rating has the speed to keep with him, and it'll probably be that last furlong and a half. It'll either be clinging on from Progressive Rating coming at him late, or he'll have done too much and he'll be tying up.
I guarantee you Oisin Murphy from stall number 1 on Progressive Rating will be aware of his main danger on form looking through, because apart from the Spirit of the North, there's not really much you'd be too concerned about. So he'll be, from stall 1, will be keen to get a position, and if he could track round Spirit of the North and Josephine Gordon, be ideal for him, and he can sort of judge it on how it's unfolding. If he feels they're going too quick, can wait for take his time, or always at Kempton you've got the option of, when the cutaway comes sort of 2 furlongs from home, if they haven't gone that quick, you can get rolling at them plenty of time, so you're guaranteed to get a clear run if you go around the inside, which is always a helpful thing, especially in these sorts of races where there's a lot of horses that haven't shown much, so you don't want to get caught in behind dead wood, if that makes sense.
Is there anything else you feel you want to mention before the off?
We should mention Rockin' and Ravin, son of Raven's Pass. He's got a good pedigree for a novice auction race, really. He picked
Sylvester Kirk can get newcomer ready.
Yeah, he's had a one newcomer win already this season, 2-year-old debutant win already this season. He's a half-brother to Winners. The Dam Solver was a pretty good mare. I think she ended up out in America. She was with Brian Meehan at one point, and she was quite a smart filly herself, and being by Raven's Pass, you would expect him to be effective on the surface. So Rockin' and Ravin certainly bred better than the majority you'd find in a novice auction race.
Anything else? Twice as likely, obviously.
Twice as likely is a winner at Newbury for its shoes. They sort of reach for the headgear to help the horse focus a little bit more. Badly drawn in 11, but again, as a horse that knows how to win, and that is going to. And he's got plenty of experience, so I'm pretty sure Shane will let the horse jump out and keep things relatively straightforward because he's got that experience on his side.
Okay. Seeing that Spirit of the North still a little bit edgy, would you expect Spirit of the North to give Josephine Gordon a hard time coming out of the gates, just by what you've seen and the way he's behaving at the moment?
I think from a jockey's point of view, because there's a lot of horses in here that are inexperienced, I would be thinking, well, hopefully I'll break well, just keep things straightforward and don't get in a fight with the horse. But it's different when you're running handicaps around here because you know you're going to get taken on. So I think, obviously, she'll just let him use his experience and keep things straightforward. But I'd imagine the key thing from her objective will be not to get in a fight with this horse. And as we saw going down, he's a little bit numb.
Yeah, it'll be whether that natural speed and enthusiasm that he's got is enough to just get away from progressive rating. I think that'll be the key. And if Oisin Murphy's horse is, a length or so down turning in, he'll probably just have a little bit too much of a finish for him. But Spirit of the North, if you're with him, you'll be hoping that he can get progressive rating off the bridle and outpace him around the turn.
Okay, last couple going forward, including Thunderdome, just about to go forward, number 7 for the Gay Kellaway team. She's had 2-year-old winners first time up this season, so perhaps the son of Auburn might put in a good show. One messing about is Stop and Search for the Brett Johnson team. Looks particularly warm, sweating and edgy down at the start. So whilst they're about to load up, I think we can head over to Kempton. Pretty confident Richard Hoyles can handle whatever comes his way.
Yeah, I hope so. Hope Daniel Muscat can. Stop and Search has been very edgy right from the moment came into the paddock. So there must be some doubt about his participation. They're currently gone their separate ways. Thunderdome is having a good look before going forward. The rest of the majority of them were pretty well behaved, and it's a shame for them that they've been forced to wait in some instances for quite a little while. Thunderdome just contemplating exactly what's required, or keeping an eye on Stop and Search, who's back reunited with Daniel Muscat. Has had a couple of starts, but he already gelded as well, so in the stalls, a couple just getting edgy now. They've been in for a while. Not quite sure why Thunderdome's not making much progress, really. Well, the blindfold's on now, but he's obviously easily confused because he's just moved the final 5 yards forward. So we'll keep an eye on Stop and Search, but they might go without here. So Stop and Search is the only one that's not in, and has gone without Stop and Search, who misbehaved down at the start and is, as a result, not with the field. In the early stages, progressive rating towards the inside, and also the keen Thunderdome. Later with the white face and trying to get over twice as likely in company with Spirit of the North. So progressive rating in the pink jacket will lead them into the bend with Thunderdome. River Sprite, So Bright Speed, posted 3 wide is twice as likely. 5th place for Hiletta, and in 6th place Spirit of the North is pushed along to keep tabs on the leaders. Then behind these is Royal Charmer, and towards the back early on we have the likes of Fair Sabra, and also towards the rear of the field the Blue Bower. So turning for home, progressive rating leads twice as likely in the beige. River Sprite is the horse in 3rd place, tracking ahead of Thunderdome, and this quartet are about 3 to 4 lengths clear from Royal Charmer, who made some progress round the bend. Then Hiletta, who is ridden along. Rockin' and Raven comes next as progressive rating heads towards the 2 furlong marker. Progressive rating out in front. River Sprite moving through to press twice as likely for 2nd place. Then Royal Charmer, and behind these Thunderdome, but progressive rating is shaken up and readily moves away here and coming clear in the closing stages. So Oisin Murphy's journey from France worthwhile, as progressive rating is coming right away here. River Sprite in 2nd, Royal Charmer being closed on late for 3rd, but just hangs on for that, I think, ahead of Thunderdome, and all in a heap in behind, but progressive rating a clear-cut winner of our 2nd race.
Very easy for progressive rating in the end. and we'll tidy up that result and talk more about that race a little bit later on. They're almost all set for the finale at Thirsk, where Hammy End is the 9-4 favourite.
Yeah, and fancied by many as well, Rish. William Muir, long distance traveller here, back up in trip today. We know this horse stays well very quickly. Ben Fernley.
Yeah, won at Chepstow back in July, ran fine at Beverley last time. Did get the lead briefly and carried his head a bit awkward. He's probably not particularly straightforward, and Danny Tudhope taking over, I think, is a positive on that sort of horse. He's improved since being brought back from a break. Came back in August and has taken his game up a notch or two. And Brutalab as well would have obvious claims. It's a very lowly race, this. I wouldn't really know where to go even if you gave me a free bet, to be honest, Peter, because it's pretty tricky. Brutalab would have form claims, but he was free last time, and going up in trip would be a concern given how keen he was.
Okay, with thanks. And for the last time this year at Thirsk, it's over to John.
Hard to believe another summer here at Thirsk has gone, Peter, isn't it? Here's to 2020 anyway. Niletta, the last one in. We are now all set. They're off and racing, jumping away 1.5 miles for the last race.